Okay, today is the day back from a trip, and the day back from a trip always means cleanup. So we are going to clean up the Can-Am today. That should be fun. And so my first question to you, have you found a tie strap that ties down and doesn't loosen? I have E-Track on the front and I strap down my wheels, but on the back of my Can-Am that I get, and I just tried these new Rhino straps, the ones with the fun button. That's cool. I'm down. That's cool. But they loosened in the back end. So have you found that doesn't loosen up? Because I haven't. And I've tried a bunch of different tie straps and they all seem to loosen up over the drive home. And don't get me wrong. I love this part about the Rhino straps. So when you come down and get off right down here. And again, this isn't the primary method that I have for strapping it down. The front is really what I care about. Take it off of here, flip it, press the button. That's cool. But they still loosened from strapping down on both sides. I gotta figure out something that works a little bit better than that. And when I'm saying that the front is really where I care about it holding, it's because these things lock. Mine are too big, but they work great. And they lock down, no movement whatsoever. So that part is great. I highly recommend doing some E-Track and then getting some over the wheel straps, because it's on the unsprung weight, which is really what you want to do. Is you want to strap down the wheel and then let the suspension of the car hold the car. It's better than going to the frame or the A-arms and all that other stuff. So, and what I like about using these wheel nets is that it straps down so securely on the E-Track. Come off, it's pretty simple. Mine come down here. I already pre-loosened it because I wanted to just kind of show you guys. But pull that down, gets it nice and loose. Pop this part off here with the good old YouTube one hand. Pop that off, and then the net just pulls off. And slide it over there. Get it out of the way, because I'm going to get in and back out. Oh, you weren't supposed to be there. But anyway. And then we'll get Dwight out of the rig. And I realize you may have been asking, is his car really named Dwight, my Can-Am? Yep. The name came from one of my kids. When I first bought it, my kids were not excited. They didn't want to do it. We had been a quad family, and we all rode quads, and it was a lot of fun. Well, my kids like watching The Office. And so my daughter named it Dwight. And this was a couple of months later, after she had ridden around in it and stuff like that with me. She goes, I named it Dwight because at first you don't like Dwight in The Office, his character. He's abrasive and everything else. But as you watch it and it goes on, you find Dwight to be a lovable character. And so she named him Dwight. And so there it is. So let's get Dwight out of the car. I already loosened everything up. Fired up. Back it out. Let's go. I have my reverse camera. And so personally, I hate riding on my paddles on the street. So if I'm going to store it for a while, or if I'm going to be moving it and working on it, I switch to my dirt tires immediately. So I back it down the ramp. Time to put on the dirt tires. And so this Dwight is a 2018 XRS Can-Am, 72 inches wide. He has his sand tires, or Sandcrafts. Love them. 32 inches on what are they? KMC wheels, sorry. And he's a little bit dirty. That's mostly from Wash Road. Largely he's dusty. And there are only 11 paddles because I'm on stock power. But he's dusty. He's a little dirty. So we're going to clean him up. Now, I told you that I'm going to put on his dirt tires because I'm going to be driving him into the garage to do some maintenance and stuff. And he's on also KMC's Chicane RXs. They're 33s. And they're a little wider than a lot of tires, but I like them. They work really well. They're really tough. because in Mammoth, things are pretty bumpy and pretty sharp. So I wanted some thick tires. So they work well for me. I don't know what works well for you, but these work. So I use the Harbor Freight Badlands jack. Love that thing. 3 tons, high lift. It helps to get at my tires because this thing has a lot of droop. So as you can see, I can to the moon with this thing, Alice. And it handles it no problem. I already pre-loosened the wheels. That's why you're hearing a little bit of that chapping. And we good. So it's a great jack. I've had it for 2 years now. Perfect. And just like that. All right, so let's take it down. Nice and slow? Maybe, maybe no. Nah, it's fine. There they are, fronts are on. It's at like full droopy just because it hasn't shaken, but there they are. I personally like to put a 2x4 across that back plate before I jack it up. And then somebody said, or they always ask, what PSI do you run your paddles? Well, mine might look flat there, and they're at 8 PSI right now. The sand was really soft, so I went down to 8. Gives me a little bit more traction. If the sand's hard, man, I pump those things up. I'll go up to 15 and pump them up so that they have less resistance. Makes them harder and skinnier, and so there's less resistance in them, and then I do that for it. Depends on the type of sand. People will ask, do you need paddles to go to Glamis? No, you don't. You can run dirt tires, but it's going to be a little bit more strain on your belt because it's going to take more oomph to get up the sand. But I would say, how many days are you going to spend in the sand? If you're going to spend 10, 15 days in the sand a year, yeah, I'd probably get paddles. My first year I rode Bighorns and they got me everywhere. But the first thing I did the next year was paddles. And I love them. But you can do it, but it's going to be better on paddles. Get it going. Here's all the fenders, muddies at least. Maybe that to keep it just down. That's pretty nasty stuff though. All right, so Dwight is all washed up. Looks a lot better. Still got some racing stripes and, you know, imperfections, but that's all right. It's an off-road machine. So now we're going to grease some of the spots in the suspension and the sway bar. I do that after every ride. It's a good idea. It's good maintenance. Keeps it from squeaking like you hear. Favorite tool. One of my favorite tools for doing this is those lockers that you see. They just lock on the Zert and then you can go ahead and do the pumping. Love those things. They stay on. They keep the mess down. Love it. And what I found is you really don't make a mess when you're out of grease. Off to the store. So the greasing's done. Now I got to go and wipe off all the ribbons that it leaves left over. I'll show you. See the ribbons and stuff. I'll wipe that one a little bit. I got to get it better. But each of them has, you know, when it shoots out, I stop. Now I got to wipe it down. So there's one more thing I'm going to be doing with my car is I'm going to be getting new lights for my mirrors. I'm excited about them. They're Nacho off-road lights. I'm waiting on their Combo Supreme Quattro. It's a smaller one that's going to mount right here. I'll replace that one. Doesn't put off much light, and I feel like it's going to be a big upgrade, so I'm pretty excited about it, and it'll help my night riding game, which I love to do. So, yeah, we'll stay tuned. So another thing I wanted to work on is I have these streaks in my lower door. I don't have full doors, I have the lower doors, and they are just a matte. They're pretty streaky. You can see that. So I'm gonna work to buff that out. I'm gonna use some 3M Ultrafine, my little buffer right there. We're gonna see what we can do. So my verdict would be better, not perfect. Better, not perfect. Try one more thing. Sprayed it with some simple green. Then I'm going to rub that in really well. See if that won't help. Abrasion from my hand might help there. we'll give that a go and find out. Let's check that out. Might be worse. Not sure. I'm gonna hit it with the buffer again. All right, so I think it looks better. It's not perfect, but better's better. So step whatever, infinity, next up. So I have this graphene ceramic coating spray that I use on my truck. I'm gonna put it on the panel and see how it goes. And yes, I know it's only a lower panel. I'm gonna put up here too because I actually buffed that. But it's what I got. So we'll put it on this as well. And to be straight with you, I'm gonna put it on the plastics too. You wait until it looks like an oil slick on the paint, so we'll see on the mat. Then you wait a little bit and you microfiber it off. I'll do the paint first. I don't know, I think it looks pretty freaking good. I love this stuff on my truck. Let's see how that cleans up down there. Oh yeah. Adams for the win. That will work. It's not perfect again, but it looks pretty darn not too bad from what it was. Oh yeah. So like I said, not perfect, but not bad. I'll take it. Looks good. So the last thing I did before being done is I checked the clutches just to make sure that everything was good. Pulled the cover. It was clean. And so I sealed that back up. So that was my day of like basic daily maintenance and wash in between trips. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you check out more videos, like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.